Hello class, today we will be learning alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs. Alcohol and youth. It is said to be that alcohol is the most used and abused drug among all teens. It is also said to be the #1 leading cause of death in teens. In 2019, 34% of teens have reported drinking at some point in their adolescence. This could be confirmed due to middle schoolers and high schoolers being exposed to these substances from their older classmates. But studies have shown that teens who drink before the age of 15 are 4 times more likely to develop alcoholism in their adulthood than those who begin to drink at the age of 21, which is the legal age to drink. Moving along, and these are some long-term effects of alcohol abuse. As you can see the picture on the right-hand corner, it is 2 different types of livers. The one on the left is a healthy liver from a person who has little to no alcohol abuse or alcohol intake in their lives. And the one on the right is a liver which has had alcohol abuse or may have been from a person who is an alcoholic or has alcoholic tendencies. The one on the right is a liver that is extremely tarnished and has developed psoriasis, meaning that the liver no longer works properly and does not function at the proper filtering levels. Not only does alcohol abuse cause psoriasis, but it also causes other chronic diseases such as high blood pressure, heart disease, stroke, liver disease, and digestive problems. Moving along to substance abuse. So why do teens use drugs? There are many different reasons why teens turn to drugs, but one would be that they use it as an outlet for emotional and physical stressors in their lives. In adolescence, it is safe to say that young teens tend to stress over smaller things that maybe an adult wouldn't stress about, but this is a very crucial part in their lives where they feel like the world is crashing down, so they want to turn to something that gives them temporary satisfaction. Another reason may be that that it boosts their self-image. Drugs tend to give a false perception for temporary periods of time, where it causes euphoric feelings, but they soon tend to fade away when the drug fade away. And this is when a lot of people tend to reuse drugs or do it again. And that's not great, because once you continue to use drugs, it causes other harmful diseases. To continue, it is also used to fit in and be accepted by peers. Around these ages, like 15 and up, friends are the one of the top people in a teen's life they want to impress. So if they see their friends doing it, they're more inclined for them to try it. And lastly, teens turn to drugs without knowing the harmful effects that come along with it. This is why it is important to learn about the harmful effects of drugs, so it could give you a better perception on how it could harm your health instead of improve it. Okay, and here are some effects of drug abuse. Some effects would be brain shrinkage, paranoia, loss of self-control, hallucinations, impaired learning abilities, memory problems, impaired reasoning, struggle with motivation, and the ultimate effect would be it could lead to death. Drugs are a very serious substance that really truly tarnishes the body, and it really is a toxin which leads to many different chronic diseases. Aside from health, it also affects a person's learning ability. For example, this picture on the right, it talks about long-term effects and consequences. Once, as said before, once somebody tries drugs, they are more inclined to try it again, which then leads to addiction and dependency, meaning that a person will no longer be able to function normally without the use of drugs. Second is co-occurring mental health disorders. There are some drugs such as cocaine and heroin which may cause hallucinations, and once a person sobers up from those drugs, those hallucinations may still be there. That's when mental health disorders are developed. Difficulty in schools. This is a big one, especially for young teens, since high school years are some of the most crucial years in their learning career. And as said before, it causes memory problems. So if a person is learning topics that are very beneficial in their future lives, they're more likely to not remember it in their adulthood. And lastly, dangerous behaviors. Drugs can cause aggressiveness and, as said before, a false perception of oneself. They may feel like some hallucinations are attacking them, and that's what makes them be dangerous, or just be physically abusive to one of their loved ones. Moving along, tobacco use. When smoking cigarettes or chewing tobacco, nicotine is absorbed to the body and causes the brain to release adrenaline. This is what causes the addictive tendencies. And one popular tobacco product that is used in these days is the e-cigarettes, which is the exact same thing as a regular cigarette, except it's battery packed. And that especially for teens may seem like a more healthier option, but in reality it's just as harmful or even more harmful than a regular cigarette, since it's more concentrated. This is extremely harmful for a person's respiratory health, since it could cause chronic diseases such as asthma and various types of cancers. Cancers such as cancer from the lips, esophagus cancer, stomach cancer, lung cancer, and really any cancer if we're being honest. As you could tell on the top middle picture, this is chewing tobacco, which is usually consumed through the mouth, and a person is nibbling or sucking on the tobacco for a set period of time, which also releases nicotine, which causes adrenaline to the body. And not only does tobacco cause internal health problems, but it also affects a person's appearance. As you could tell on the picture to the top right hand corner, this woman has yellow teeth. This is one effect of frequently smoking. It could stain your teeth, as well as cause premature wrinkles, as well as cause unusual pigmentation to your face, to your skin. Moving along. And one thing alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs have in common is that it's usually presented through peer pressure, especially in young teens. Peer pressure is when a teenager does something he or she normally wouldn't do to fit in with friends. As said before, around the high school level, students tend to believe that the most important people around them are their friends, or nonetheless they feel that they need to impress them, so they tend to follow in their footsteps. But here are some ways to avoid peer pressure. 1. Say no like you mean it. Meaning, if somebody offers you one of these substances, stand your ground when you say no. Be firm and mean it. That way they are less inclined to ask you again. 2nd, don't hesitate to be repetitive. Meaning, if somebody continues to offer you these substances, remember, stand your ground and continue to say no. This will hopefully eventually cause that person to stop asking you, and eventually cause you to never try these substances. 3rd, get away from the pressure zone. A lot of people, if one friend offers you a substance, it's usually because the group already is okay with these with these actions. And the easiest way to avoid this is just to not be there. So if you see your friends are doing these substances and you don't want to be around them, just try to avoid them and don't hang out with them. And this moves along great with our last point: evaluate friendships. A real friendship would not pressure you to try something you don't want to, especially something that could possibly harm your health. So if you have a group of friends that continue offering these substances, it's best to move away from them and just find a more beneficial friend group that really is looking for your best interest and wants to keep you safe. And that is all. Thank you, class. I hope you have a great day.